So, I'm just gonna say it. Scarlet Nexus is a freaking great game. My god, I haven't had this much fun playing a game in so long. But before I get ahead of myself, let me actually break this all down properly and go over why I think Scarlet Nexus is a fantastic game. Now, I did stream a bit of Scarlet Nexus at launch, and my impressions of it early on were what I think most people's are if they've played it. I kind of consider it still, even though I love the game, Scarlet Nexus should have been called Anime the Game. It is by far, at least when it starts, the most tropey game of all time when it comes to anime games. It's essentially like playing an anime, but one of those very cheesy cliche ones, at least at the start of the game. Now, it definitely delves into some other territories, and the fact that you have two different kind of intertwining stories later on, depending on the characters that you pick, is very interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, when you first start playing the game, it's gonna hit you a bit differently, and you're like, am I playing the right game? It's literally every trope you can think of. You have the horny best friend, you have the shy girl, the jerk classmate, the big bruiser with the deep voice. You have you, the main character, who's the optimistic, your dad's a politician, your brother's one of the chiefs of the OSF, your grandfather's this great man. It's like you're every cliche you can think of in an anime rolled into one, and then everybody else around you is just big deal anime cliches. You have the strong silent type girl, you have the outgoing very spunky spontaneous girl, you have the weirdo, the dorks. It's so cliche that as much as I wanted to be like, wow, this is dumb, I still was enjoying it. Like, I was laughing about how cliche it was, but it's a good thing when it comes to the story, to be honest. Now, that's pretty much just kind of the first hour of the game, is getting that out of the way, but it's mainly to show how different some of these characters are going to turn when it comes to some of the bigger story points in the game. Now, like I said, the story definitely goes in a different direction very fast, literally by the second chapter. But I'm not going to spoil that, because I definitely want some people, if you're planning on picking up this game, playing it, renting it, whatever, definitely get your hands on it, because it is a fun game. Just story mode aside, the combat is killer. Now, I remember before I even fully committed to getting this game, I remember seeing it and was just being like, this looks like a really good Honkai Impact. And I love Honkai Impact. I love the art style of it, I love the fighting mechanics, and everything I saw from Scarlet Nexus looked like Honkai Impact. Now, that was pretty much the most I got, because their trailers, to me at least, really didn't give away too much. It just seemed very basic and very generic. So I was kind of taking a chance on even picking up Scarlet Nexus. But I was like, you know what? I love Honkai Impact. I like the fighting. And I played the demo, and the demo was great. Even though it was just 2 levels you got to play, the mechanics were really, really good. So I was like, you know what? Let's actually hop into this. And sure enough, oh my god, these combat mechanics are fun as hell. You play with 2 different characters that essentially both have telekinesis. One fights with a sword, one fights with these like whip fan blade things, which she's actually pretty cool. I like her attacks. But on top of that, you also have your teammates that can assist you. Now, your teammates all have different abilities as well, some having fire, invisibility, clairvoyancy, all that can be used with literally the click of a button, comboing on top of your abilities that you are already using. Then pair that with a skill tree, which can expand even more abilities, more dashing and dodging combos, and then using even multiple of your teammates' abilities at once, and it's literally an anime on screen. It's just chaos everywhere. You're throwing stuff with telekinesis, burning stuff with pyrokinesis. You're getting your defensive shield from one of your teammates as well. It's crazy. The combat is literally so fun, and even though I don't think it's the most unique, it feels extremely unique. You also have access to finisher moves. You have access to an ultimate that's kind of a tug or war of, all right, if you're going to stay in this mode, you can deal a massive amount of damage, but if you stay in it too long, you're gonna die. So you gotta try and toggle it off at the right time and use it when you should. Then you have your brain drive meter, which also fills up and then triggers automatically. So then you're also kind of like, all right, maybe I should kill a few enemies here and then wait, because a boss might be coming up and I want to activate my brain drive now. So it's all these different combat mechanics in one, and it's super seamless. And that's what I love about it, because I was not expecting the combat, at least, to play so smooth, especially with all the tools that they gave you to mess around with. Now, on top of the combat and the story, you also have your basic elements of any other, I guess, anime style game where you can buy just about anything for just about everyone, whether it's upgrades for your characters or your teammates, which enhances their weapons, their mods, their stats. You can get, of course, cosmetics like crazy if you want to as well. You have the exchange, your shop, and I kind of even dig the classic old school just going in and saving manually, even though there is a autosave, which you'll find out when you come back to the game. But the fact that you can manually save like an old Pokemon style game, I thought was kind of funny as well. Now, I don't want to drag out this review any longer than I need to, but after playing it and beating it on the first character, I was like, all right, after a week, now's the time to talk about it. People definitely should get their hands on this game, or at least play it once and get a good feel for it, because this game is a very fun game, even if you're not looking to own it. Like I said, if you could get it from Redbox, potentially rent it and definitely play this game. It's one you're not going to want to miss just because it is very fun. It might not be for everybody, but I do think a lot of people are going to really love Scarlet Nexus. And as much as I don't really like giving games ratings, just because I feel like there's games that are just great games, good games, masterpiece games, you don't really need to give a game a rating. But if I was doing a number rating like most people do, out of 10, this game definitely gets an 8. Now again, it is a fantastic freaking game, but there were some downsides that I noticed that I was like, all right, yeah, it's not a perfect game. It's definitely not a masterpiece, but it is a very, very, very fun game. Like I said, it's one of the most fun games I've played in a very long time. But, you know, some of the things like the target locking isn't the best. Like I said, that whole first hour is very cliche and does drag out a lot. Even some of the cutscenes kind of drag out way too much, where it's like, should I just skip this? Or you're worried about skipping something and you might miss some important information. There's a lot of things that you also have to manage as well, which I feel like some people might not be into. I personally don't mind it, but again, there's certain things in it that do kind of hinder it, but for the most part, it is a very, very good game. So again, if I had to rate it, it'd be a solid 8 out of 10, but I still highly recommend Scarlet Nexus if you haven't played it yet. But other than that, I'm about to wrap it up because I was trying not to make this any longer than they needed to be. But again, if you haven't played it, or if you're even thinking about picking up Scarlet Nexus, definitely pick it up at some point. Get your hands on it, have some fun, because again, the most fun I've had with a video game in a very, very long. Other than that though, I will catch you all in the next one. Let me know in the comment section if you've played it or if you're planning on picking it up. And be sure to leave a like if you liked the video, and if you didn't, still leave a like. Other than that, I will catch y'all all in the next one. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. Links to that's in the video description. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.